It's the day of Liverpool Real Madrid, and I'm riding around on my bike on the way to the train station to go to the match, right? Thanks a lot to Google Pixel for the ticket. I'm going to be in the main stand. If you're in the main stand, let me know. But I was looking back at some of the times when we've played Madrid, and it's a fun way of looking at the way that this modern Liverpool team has evolved, how different we've been, but also how far we've come, even in like the shortest of times. And to think that, you know, we lost in the group stages. We were in Group B with them like even a decade ago from this year, and we lost 3-0 and 1-0 respectively in those two group games, right? They weren't fun. We were vastly inferior to Real Madrid, and we really weren't just playing the football we wanted to play at that time. Even though we knew the football we wanted to play, we just weren't playing the kind of football that we really should have played. And the frustration amongst the Liverpool fans was that there was this kind of early idea of Moneyball at the club, and it was very trendy at the time. And I'm just going to turn this way because it makes it more fun. And there was this transfer committee idea. From the outside, everyone was damning this transfer committee and saying that Brendan Rodgers, saying that Brendan Rodgers as a manager should have more autonomy, that he should get more of a say on transfers, and that actually it should be his team and there shouldn't be anyone else who's deciding what it is that Brendan does. Looking back, if you read Ian Graham's book about how to win the Premier League, you realise how different the transfer committee's opinions of football players were to someone like Brendan Rodgers at that time. Like, he really wanted Christian Benteke. They wanted different profiles of players. Football was moving in a different direction to where the two could agree. And you realise like how, as a fan base, we really just get quite obsessed. I'm going to turn around because this way is just not the... Oh, no, maybe it is. How we just get kind of obsessed with, well, you know, we've transitioned away from Klopp and we're moving into a new era with Slot, and we kind of forget the whole Rodgers thing. We forget the debacle in that era, the football that we played, the kind of players that we even had in that time, and the way that we played. Like, you know, I know it was exciting and now you're going to believe us, and that was really great, but it was, in relative terms, like quite painful to watch. You know, I mean, especially the memories we have in that time are very painful memories, considering, oh my God, considering, you know, we lost the league. Really, we weren't all that prepared. We kind of went too early in a way, if you want to put it that way. And not only that, but we were set to lose a lot of stars to other bigger teams. Now Real Madrid come to us after the narrative is that we have sort of given them, or, you know, we've given them so much info over the last few years. Like, we liked Tchouaméni, they liked Tchouaméni. Both of those guys and us got better. Like, we got into it, we got better and better and better odds of getting him, and then suddenly Real Madrid were just in there and it seems as if we were used. The same for Bellingham. The same goes now maybe for Zubimendi. Like, Zubi's probably going to go there as well, which is probably why I shouldn't call him Zubi. But we've come to terms with that identity. Like, I think there's so much reframing of the Klopp era at the moment and everything that Klopp did, we don't really seem to stop at any point and go, do you remember where we were before Klopp? Do you remember, like, the punching up we had to do? And how we haven't won against Real Madrid in any of those games in the Klopp era, and we still feel good about ourselves as one of Europe's top teams sitting at that table. Do you realise the difference in mentality that takes as a fan base? Stop moving. You have to stay still, guys. Do you realise the difference in mentality that takes as a fan base? And the work that Klopp did to get us here, like, that's not an overnight process. In fact, I would say for where we got to and where we're at, that's actually a relatively unpainful process for someone like Klopp to put us through. Anyway, now we're all angsting over contracts and players staying or not. And I know that some of you are going to say, well, we're not really much further ahead. Real Madrid are taking our best players. We can't keep hold of a lot of our guys. We kept hold of Van Dijk, we kept hold of Alisson, we kept hold of Trent, we kept hold of Salah. Salah at one point was like, in most people's mind, nailed on to go to Real Madrid at some point. Didn't go. Maybe because they had other ideas, but they've really not filled that hole, so to speak, on that side of the pitch. And it doesn't feel an awful lot like they threaten us in the same way anymore. Big vans. Anyway, with us talking now about settling scores and, you know, Salah has a point to prove. I said it in my preview video in, you know, the whole, oh, you know, Salah will want to win as a bit of a send-off. Salah will want to win because he never won in the period where he was at Liverpool against them. You know, the arm thing with Ramos, them kind of rubbing it in his face, him even having the whole, oh, you know, the comeback thing that he was kind of insinuating and very much like deliberately speaking about before the big game, where we again lost to them. I didn't go particularly well at that time. Anyway, but now also the fact that I think, you know, if you'd have told us that we'd be playing Real Madrid in the Champions League, which earlier on in the season when we did the draw, I didn't wince at, but I did kind of go, oh, that is going to be a point where we all find out where we're really at. Like, we're really going to find out where Gravenberch is at tonight, against the technicality of their midfield, against the movement of their midfield, against the intensity of their midfield, but also against how relaxed they so often look and feel in midfield. You're going to see what kind of classy operator he can be if he can play to his full level. If we can really stick a boot in on these guys, don't get me wrong, like, I really enjoy that, but I think we're going to see how gnarly this team can really get against the likes of Real Madrid, despite Real Madrid only, as you know, a lot of the Real Madrid guys have been saying, only really having 2-3 good games this season. They're still a really good side technically. You know, they still have all the, I guess, all the attributes that Liverpool fans would resent, or not resent's the wrong word, but like that Liverpool fans would want to cancel out in a big team. We've begun to identify differently thanks to Klopp, thanks to Slot, thanks to Edwards, thanks to FSG. And I know some people kind of reject some of that identity. Some of you guys, even in the comments of the Salah video, were sort of like, this isn't how we should be operating. Not to sound like, you know, I don't want to sound Little Britain or kind of Brexiteerish, but like, we've all got to be one here. We can't have a fan base that thinks that we should be Real Madrid, because we ain't Real Madrid. And frankly, as a Liverpool fan, I know it's weird, like you take on your team's identity. I don't want to be Real Madrid. I like that we have to make the most of Gravenberch in the midfield. I like that there's a story there, that there isn't just entitlement and, you know, we deserve only the best players, because that's not us, is it? I mean, at least that's not us now. Might have been us in the past, might have been us in previous eras getting really great players, but it's not us now. We don't want to feel that way, do we? Do you want to feel that way? Do you want to? I mean, I know that we want to be competing for the best players, and the best players we might want them to come to us, but I don't want Real Madrid players to be thinking that they want to come to Liverpool because they'll get the life like Real Madrid gave them. This is not good. Gonna have to go back this way, guys, because that is a big ass lorry. But then there's the whole thing of like proving that we deserve to be in this place, proving that we really are a team that can compete with the best of the best. We've already kind of proven that, but I think you forget again, previous eras before Klopp proved this. Previous eras such as the Rafa Benitez era, when we were basically the worst team to play in Europe. Like, we weren't the worst team to play, we were the team that you really don't want to play. And that was in very recent history, but it's something that a lot of you will be growing up with. A lot of you will even be babies or kids who don't really watch football at that time. It's going to be like what Kenny Dalglish was to me, or what Graham Souness was to me. They were fictional characters who made the club what they were, that my dad or my granddad or whoever told me about. And to an extent, they were kind of lamented because they never really achieved what it was that we wanted to achieve. And that always bothered me. I guess it always bothered a lot of people. But they never felt real. Like Rafa Benitez, I think to a lot of people doesn't feel real. Does that make sense? And so that's kind of what I wanted to jump on here and talk to you guys about. Like, I wanted to talk about the redemption of Salah, but on a wider level, the redemption of us as a club. And to an extent, because it's not about whether we win or lose against Real Madrid this evening, it's actually about how well we show out, how well we kind of... This guy's just got full beam headlights on like a douche. It's about how we... Sorry, there's just someone who's just got full beam headlights on, and yep, they're an estate agent. Anyway, it's about how we show out, and it's about how we... And he's playing Kendrick in this area. God, get over it, mate, come on. I'm busy gentrifying over here. Anyway. I'm on my way to Liverpool now. The weird thing is I don't fear Madrid anymore. I don't fear what the result is. I don't think it's in their hands as to whether they derail our season or not. And looking back at these old teams, it felt as if it was in Real Madrid's hands to derail our season or not. That level of power, that level of what I consider to be like fan base growth and what I consider to be club growth and on-field growth for Liverpool is reflected in the fact that I can even consider in videos that we could let Trent go, we could let Salah go, we could let Van Dijk go. And we're only at the beginning of what Slot can achieve. We're only at the beginning of what Slot has shown this team to be, because he's essentially managing another person's team. Very similar to when Rafa Benitez won the Champions League with Liverpool in 2005. Very similar to when Klopp went to the Europa League final, although, you know, that season. This is a manager instilling his ideas into someone else's squad. And whilst there has been continuity, it's still very much Jurgen Klopp's squad. Looking at that team, I remember how I felt back then when Simon Mignolet was my goalkeeper, when all these people were like... They felt like they were my club, and I didn't relate to them. Now, we love Salah. Now, we love Van Dijk, Trent, all these guys. That's progress as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, a little bit rambly, but appreciate you guys. See you on this channel again real soon. Much love. Bye.